Right, I think we're recording. Today we're going to talk about markups and markdowns. So essentially, a markup is going to be we're running a business. And is the money we're going to want to make on top of what we paid to make that product or service. So if we made a cup and it cost us $2, but we want to walk away with $6 profit, we are going to charge $8. Markdowns you're probably a little more familiar with. You're probably looking for them all the time. 50% off, 20% off. So that's what we're going to be covering today, both of those and the math behind them. So when a store sells an item for more money than it paid, the extra money goes to use expenses and profits. And there's different ways to calculate this based on what you're actually trying to achieve and how granular you want to get to make a certain amount. The increase in price is called the markup. Okay, the amount the customer pays is called the selling price. I don't think that one's really gonna throw anyone. So when a store reduces a price, it's called a markdown. So how we calculate the markup is we take the price paid or the price, again, that's really going to depend on how granular you get on what the price paid, the percent of profit desired, and that'll equal the selling price. So in this case, if we take $50 as what we're paying, we want to make 50% on top of that. And that's pretty common, is that usually it's a 50% markup. So 50% of 50 is 25. I hope you can do the math on that one. So 50 plus 25 is 75, and that's what they're going to sell the product for. Markdown is you take the price and you subtract the discount to get the selling price. So let's just take a look. We're going to use an example. We're selling computers. And this is, well, it says markup, but the math is for a markdown. See what pops up before we start making some changes. See what the other stuff is. Okay, so this is the math for a markdown. So let's just go with that. We have a computer for $700. We're going to mark it down 30%. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to figure out what 30% of 700 is. Let's hope you have your decimal percentages all squared away. And we're going to do 700 times 0.3. That gives us $210. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract that $210 from the $700. See, in this one I got mixed up. I was going the other way. So let's do some quick math here. Oops. So 700 minus 210 is actually 8,790. And I'm just doing, that doesn't sound right. And this is why we shouldn't do math in head. Oh, sorry, went the wrong way. 500, 490 is what that should be. So that's our markdown. See if the slides get a little more clear as we go. So now we're doing a markdown. 25%, our computer is 910. It's an upgraded version from the other one before. So first we got to figure out what 25% of 910 is. So 910 times 0.25. We just move that decimal place over 2 times to the left to get our decimal from the percentage. And 25% of 910 is 227.50. So what we do next is we're going to subtract 227.50 from 910. Oh, I like that this slide is correct. And we're going to get 682.50. So that's all our markdown stuff, which is it's good to know. That's probably what you're going to encounter more in day-to-day. But let's take a look at sales tax. So everywhere you go, you're going to pay the sales tax at most places. And sales tax is figured by the selling price plus the percent of tax, and that's going to equal the total price. So let's take a look at an example. We have that computer that's $682.50. All right. So that's what we think. We're at the register. That's what we think we're paying. But we have to pay 5%. Now, when like a store is charging you the sales tax, they're not keeping it. They're just an intermediary passing it on to the government. So they're not keeping that 5%. If they do, trust me, things will happen and they'll happen quickly. So, but we're going to figure out the tax rate. How much extra tax on top of this 682.50 are we going to have to owe? And so we're going to go ahead and multiply 682.50 times 0.05 and gives us $34.13. So that's how much tax we're paying. So we're going to go ahead and add what we're paying for the actual computer. This is actually plus 34.13. This slide is not correct. I made the slides. Plus 34.13. That's going to give us 716.63. That's how much we actually have to pay the store. Please be a correct slide. No, we're done. I'm getting out of this. Markup, just the kind of, because I don't think we did a very big example, is really just figuring out how much you want to make on top of things, adding that to either what you paid for the item or what you paid for the item plus the amount of profit you're looking for. And that's usually determined by someone to figure out how much that is. So that's markup and markdown. See you soon.